Hi, this is William Ramsey. Welcome to William Ramsey Investigates. On today's show, I have a show I'm going to title P. Diddy Did What? The Rodney Jones Nuke from Orbit lawsuit. This lawsuit that came out in late February is remarkable. It has so much information. And today is March 29th, 2024. So it's been a month since it's been out. But a lot of things have happened since this lawsuit was dropped in New York City. I think it's the Southern District of New York, but like any civil suit, a lot of the allegations have not been proven in court, right? But there was a myriad of photos and all the evidence. Everybody kind of thought it rang true. Really, the basis of it was, my understanding is that Rodney Jones was not given what he was promised. He was promised something like $500,000 and was given $25,000 or something for his work. And so that was a reason why, part of the lawsuit, including other stuff. But I'm going to read the entirety of the lawsuit, or most of it, leave out some stuff. It's very graphic. There's drugs, violence. So if you're sensitive, do not, under any circumstances, have this playing with kids in the background or anything like that. It's really a remarkable case, but also insights. So people have compared it to Epstein. And he had all these parties. I'm going to play some video too, but he had all these parties where he invited all these rich and famous people and blackmailed them. He had video cameras in each room, and every room of his mansion. They keep calling it a house. It's really an incredible mansion. I think he paid $40 million for it. And it's right down, literally a stone's throw. I think I could throw a rock from his mansion and hit the Playboy mansion, which is about a block away, which is also the same allegations of underground tunnels, blackmail, videotaping. That Hefner had a huge videotape collection of all these people, secretly taped, surreptitiously taped. But this is just an article that was in the Independent. Title of it is, "Here Are All the Allegations Made Against Sean Diddy Combs." Federal agents with U.S. Homeland Security raided two of the rapper's houses in Los Angeles and Miami as he faces a string of accusations. I don't believe that he's been arrested yet. So it is very strange. But these federal agents' raids were very intense, involving almost like a military involvement. People were arrested. There were people in, combat fatigues and things like that. Like, they were serious. Like, there were like 40 or 50 people in the one, and that's in Beverly Hills. They call it Holmby Hills here, but it's really Beverly Hills. It's really the nicest street. But that would happen on March 25th. So the lawsuit was dropped in late February, and then this kind of happened. And he says, Combs has strongly denied all allegations against him. His attorneys have branded the lawsuits and their accusations as money grabs, baseless, and sickening. The entertainer has not been formally charged or accused by federal prosecutors of any crime, so he hasn't been yet. But it is odd. And then there was this lawsuit by Cassandra Ventura. So that was settled in the end of 2023. That's mentioned here. But there were things filed under the New York Adult Survivors Act before it expires, which offered people, if they had been abused in the past, to file suit. So one of this was this Cassandra Ventura. Then this mentions Little Rod Jones. This was filed 26th of February. So it was February 26th when he filed in 2024. Says he was subjected to these are allegations. These are not proven. Subjected to unwanted advances by associates of Diddy at his direction, and that he was forced to engage in relations with the sex workers Combs had hired. The producer, Rodney Jones, worked for Combs between September 2022 and November 2023, claimed Combs sexually harassed, drugged, and threatened him for more than a year. He has video and audio evidence, he says, of people engaged in serious illegal activity. Mentioned British Royal Prince Harry. Ryan Mendelsohn, 20, who used to live in the area where Combs' Los Angeles property was searched, told reporters he would see parties at the home and women outside until 6 a.m., which was not unusual. I drive by a lot, and I see that a lot of girls, maybe 5 or 6 girls outside. Some leaving, some not, some going in. I never thought anything of it, Mr. Mendelsohn, who added he did not know Combs lived there until Monday's news broke, but now it's crazy. There was a lawsuit by Joey Dickerson Neal, November 2023, alleging Combs drugged, sexually assaulted her, and secretly recorded the assault while she was a college student in 1991. So these druggings, more women come forward. An anonymous plaintiff said Combs and Aaron Hall raped her and a friend in 1990 or 1991, spiked them drinks. So this is a pattern. Another unnamed accuser, Combs was hit with another lawsuit which claimed he had drugged and gang raped a 17-year-old girl in 2003. Combs' response to allegations. Sean Combs strongly denied all the allegations against him, would fight my name, my family for the truth. That's what he said. Combs' lawyer, Sean Hawley, branded the events described in the lawsuit as pure fiction. So that's that. I'm going to play a few video files and then read from the lawsuit, which is pretty remarkable.
New details in the investigation surrounding Sean Diddy Combs after federal agents raided his homes in California and Florida. Eyewitness News reporter Irene Cruz has the latest.
New fallout after Monday's raids, one of them taking place at his California home here in Los Angeles. His lawyer is now speaking out, and one person tied to the rapper has now been arrested. The big question remains, where is Sean Diddy Combs right now? Monday's raids had Homeland Security combing through the L.A. and Miami homes of Sean Diddy Combs, seizing computers and electronics. Agents claim they were looking for evidence to corroborate sex trafficking allegations. Experts say the high-profile raids are a sign federal prosecutors are confident in building a case.
Having heavily armed guards and officers searching a home is pretty normal. Some of the allegations against Sean Combs doesn't just involve sexual assault and human trafficking, but also the possession of firearms and drugs.
His lawyer responded, calling the move an unprecedented ambush and a witch hunt, and says he will fight every day to clear his name. Combs hasn't been charged or arrested, but 4 women have filed civil lawsuits accusing him of sexual assault and sex trafficking, allegations that Combs denies. Another lawsuit is from music producer Rodney Jones.
Rodney Jones's lawsuit highlighted that Sean Combs, according to him, has video surveillance and recording devices throughout the many homes that he has, and that those recordings may have video of the alleged crimes that Rodney Jones is pointing to.
Meantime, one of Combs' employees, 25-year-old Brendan Paul, was arrested on drug charges Monday. The lawsuit claims Paul carried drugs and guns for Combs. Paul has posted bail. So again, the location of Sean Diddy Combs is unknown at this point in time, but his plane was last seen leaving California headed for the Caribbean. He apparently was not on board, but his lawyer says that he and his kids have not been restricted to travel, so if he has left the country, he has the right to have done so.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
So that's that. So they haven't arrested him yet. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but there are some open questions. This is a report about the freakout parties from Fox News.
Freakout parties. In attendance were celebrities, politicians, athletes, international dignitaries like British royalty, Prince Harry, and music label executives. Lil Rod claimed some of the biggest names in the recording industry sponsored these parties with sex workers, drugs, and underage girls. The CEO of Universal Music, Lucian Grange, is named as a defendant. So is the former CEO of Motown Records, Ethiopia, Habert Mariam, and others. Lil Rod says hidden cameras were in every room of Diddy's homes. Lil Rod believes that Mr. Combs possesses compromising footage of every person that has attended his freak-off parties and his house parties. Salacious tapes of Hollywood's biggest names, including record CEOs and politicians, doing drugs and cavorting with prostitutes and minors. The complaint argues that these freak-off parties were a business model. Young and up-and-coming talent attended and were promised career opportunities and access to music executives. They were then plied with drugs and alcohol, filmed. Some were blackmailed. There was a quid pro quo, according to the complaint. Lil Rod said not only were these music executives sponsoring these parties, they were handing Diddy large sums of cash that he used to pay for the sex workers and drugs. Something tells me the IRS is going to be interested. The suit.
So that was part of the recording from Fox News. And then I'll replay this one that is of his drug alleged drug mule being arrested. Let's see. So this is the guy being brought out. I think he was mentioned in the original court document, the civil complaint that was filed in New York City by on February 26th. So this is the guy being brought out. So one of the people mentioned in the court case is brought out, but I can go through some of these files real quick. There's an issue about whether he was going to be arrested when the homes were raided in Miami and Los Angeles on Monday. So that was it. I mean, it was a big thing. A lot of these guys, I think these are some of his entourage or even children. I think he has 5 kids, so some of them got arrested. Here he is with Obama hanging out in 2017, and on some of his social media it just shows his tier of friends and all the people he knows. He's hanging out with Leonardo DiCaprio, Michael Jackson. Here's his drug guy. Brendan Paul is mentioned in the Little Rod Diddy new lawsuit. Arrested on drug charges, 25. Arrested Miami-Dade police alongside Homeland Security agents. So the Homeland Security people. This was another recording on News Nation. Woman says Sean Diddy Combs shot her in the face in 1999. Every room in the house is fitted with hidden cameras. This is Jay-Z. There's a whole nother show. It's Jay-Z. But Diddy and I are as close as brothers, no matter how many bad rumors he has. My thoughts about him still haven't changed. Interesting. It's a picture of, looks like Epstein. P. Diddley. And then these are from The Shadow of Ezra from X. And it's about the Playboy Mansion. It says, pricey pad. Puff Daddy purchases massive $40 million Holmby Hills estate near Playboy Mansion, an exclusive LA neighborhood. And then this whole rumor of tunnels. According to the story on Playboy, secret tunnels running from Playboy Mansion, homes of several nearby celebrities were constructed. Tunnels went beneath the Los Angeles Country Club to the homes of Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Kirk Douglas, and James Caan. So I think those have been verified. If they haven't, let me know. But it's just crazy. It thinks that these tunnels are like super long, like they go underneath the hills. This is from 2015. Playboy claims Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, and James Caan had secret underground tunnels from their homes to the Playboy Mansion. And that says, if you or your dad or someone you know saw or used one of these celebrity tunnels, please email us at editors@playboy.com. It says Diddy's world is collapsing. Diddy's freak out parties. And this guy's mentioned too. His name is Lucian Grange, is being investigated on charges of allegedly aiding, abetting, and inducing P. Diddy to run a pedophile sex trafficking ring and is 100% liable for the crimes. It's a mix of civil and criminal language there. Sorry, Diana, but that's a mistake. He's civilly liable, maybe, and criminally culpable, maybe. I don't know. Law and Crime, I've been following, trying to catch up on these. They've done a lot of good investigating on P. Diddy and trying to figure him out. So those are pretty interesting. But all these being covered by a lot of different people now because his homes are raided. So I think everybody's kind of going through his background, and he has a pretty vivid background. So I'm going to go and read from the court case right here. So be careful. This is pretty incredible. Thank you. Hi, this is William Ramsey. Welcome to William Ramsey Investigates. On today's show, I'm going to read from a lawsuit that was filed by Rodney Jones as plaintiff against Sean Combs, or P. Diddy. People obviously know his rap name, but a host of other characters, but also big names like Motown Records, Universal Music Group, and others involved. It's pretty graphic. This came to my attention through social media. I saw that P. Diddy was trending and a lot of stuff was popping up. I was like, what's the issue? Well, fortunately, the lawsuit's accessible, and there's some stuff in here it's really something else. It's incredible. It really is incredible. And somebody sent me something about another rapper who got killed and how many people, murders and death he was involved in. So there's a real dark side. There's a real dark side to some of the stuff. And there was another lawsuit against P. Diddy by a woman by the name of Cassandra Ventura. And she sued him last year, I believe, in November. But that was settled. The next day it was settled. And I think both parties said amicably settled. This case did not get settled, which I think is very curious. But I'm going to read from the case. And it is interesting. Like, these complaints have trigger warnings. Now, I've never seen these before. But both the Cassandra Ventura and the Rodney Jones cases have these trigger warnings because of the evidence. And so I guess I should pass that along. Trigger warning. And I guess there were always rumors about this guy. People were talking about him. Kanye West and things like that. But this is really something else. Somebody online, I think it was Ian Carroll, said that this is almost like the Epstein of the rap world. And it might be. This is really, it's incredible just reading through this. So I'm going to read through it again live, and this will go out. And this is, to me, devastating. Like, for these guys, I guess there's more news. I can't say that I'm a hip hop specialist, so maybe that gives me some objectivity. Like, I don't know that much about a lot of these guys, but I know that this is something else. So I'm going to just kind of go through it. And there's a lot of interesting side pieces. I know I live in LA, so I'm aware of where he lives, and I'll see if I can pull that up. But P. Diddy lives on like one of the most, I think it's really the most exclusive street in the exclusive Beverly Hills, which is really something else. So here goes. Rodney Jones will explain himself and the facts and things like that. But some of these names, I have no idea who they are, but I'm familiar with P. Diddy. So Rodney Jones v. Sean Combs, Justin Dior Combs, Ethiopia, Habtemariam, Lucian Charles Grange, Christina Coram, Chalice Recording Studios, Love Records, Motown Records, Universal Music Group, Combs Global Enterprises, Jane and Jane Does 1 through 10, and ABC Corporations 1 through 10. Trigger warning. This document contains highly graphic information of a sexual nature, including sexual assault. Additionally, there are graphic images of the aftermath of a shooting, redacted images of sexual intercourse, redacted images of minors, sex workers, and prostitutes, details of sex trafficking and illegal distribution of guns and drugs. Plaintiff Rodney Little Rod Jones hereby alleges and for his complaint against defendant Sean Combs, Mr. Combs, and the same names I just listed, jurisdiction and venue. This is filed in New York, I believe. So from September 2022 to the date of this filing 2 days ago, that would be February 26th. Defendants have consistently and purposefully availed themselves of the privilege of conducting activities within New York, thus invoking the benefit and protections of New York law. So that's where the proper jurisdiction is. Parties. Plaintiff Rodney Jones is an American artist and music producer. Mr. Jones resides in the states of New York and California. I had no idea who this guy is. Defendant Sean Combs is a rapper and record executive popularly known by his stage names Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, Diddy, Brother Love, or Love. Mr. Combs came to fame in the early 1990s with his record label Bad Boy Records. He rose to prominence in the music and entertainment industry over the decades and is regularly referred to as a hip-hop mogul. Mr. Combs resides at 200 South Mapleton in Beverly Hills, California. Actually, it has a hyperlink. Let's see if this will pop up. It does. Wow, this is amazing. So if you can see this, if you're watching this on YouTube or Rockfin, you'll see that this street is Mapleton on Sunset. Let me see if I can open this. But it is an incredible, that's right down the street from the Playboy Mansion, right? So it's not far. It's by the Los Angeles Country Club, but it still doesn't accept Jews and blacks, which I think is still the case. Like, they do not accept Jews and blacks. And which isn't funny. And it's down the street from like a De Beers, Air, and all this like famous people. He lives next to the old house where, what's his name? It's like a famous older actor lived. Oh, it's what's the house? It's Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. So like, Humphrey Bogart of Casablanca fame. So he lives in like the toniest of the Tony, chic, bougie, whatever you want to call it, location. But yeah, this case is something else. So they have a lot of pictures and stuff. You can see that. Defendant Justin Dior Combs is the son of Mr. Combs and Misa Hilton. Jay Combs was born on December 30th, 1993. Jay Combs is a producer and actor. He has appeared on TV series like Catfish the Show, Wild and Out, and Hip Hop Squares. He lives at an address. I won't say that. Defendant Lucian Charles Grange is the CEO and defendant Universal Music Group. He resides in La Quinta and Pacific Palisades. And there's a picture of him. Ethiopia Habtemariam is the former CEO and defendant Motown Records. She lives in Sherman Oaks. Christina Coram lives in Los Angeles. Chalice Recording Studios is a popular recording studio located at 845 Highland Avenue. Motown Records is a record label with a principal place of business in Los Angeles, California. Ethiopia Habtemariam was the chairman and CEO of the Universal Music Group's Motown Records. Universal Music Group is a record label with a principal place of business located at 2220 Colorado Avenue, Santa Monica. Lucian Grange is the chairman and CEO of Universal Music Group. Love Records, Combs Enterprises is a diverse portfolio of businesses and investments that include music, fashion, fragrance, beverage, marketing, film, television, and media properties. They have a principal place of business in New York. So then I think P. Diddy's done very well. I think he's a successful businessman. I would chat with Crazy Days and Nights. He got in some trouble and he got sued. Tritonic. This is in the chat. He got sued by a woman and he claimed he just made some of the stories up. So he actually, is kind of had some turbulence in his career and his questionable research. Like, you had to question everything he talked about. And I know Prince Rav reached out to him. He's not the type of person who wants to be interviewed, but he does good research from his perspective. Combs Global. Rodney Little Rod Jones. Rodney Little Rod Jones Jr. is from the Windy City, Chi-Town. He was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Mr. Jones is the second oldest son and fourth child out of 9 siblings. Mr. Jones comes from a long line of gospel music influencers. Mr. Jones started playing instruments at the age of 5. He began playing drums in church, and at the age of 13, he picked up playing the guitar. From 13 to present day, Mr. Jones has taught himself to play over 13 instruments. There's a picture of him. Looks like with a gospel church choir or something. Seems to be pews there. Mr. Jones is considered a musical prodigy. His talents have led him to produce and create a commercial marketplace for music that has been recorded by some of the most prestigious and highly acclaimed artists in music history. Throughout the duration of his career, Mr. Jones has worked the south side of Chicago music scene, playing with the following legendary greats: Georgia Mass Choir, Donald Lawrence, the Clark Sisters, and the Smoky Norfolk. On or about August 2022, Mr. Jones received a call from Mr. Combs requesting that he produce several songs on a rhythm and blues album titled The Love Album, Off the Grid. Mr. Jones agreed, and his life has been detrimentally impacted ever since. Summary of events. From September 2022 to November 2023, Mr. Jones produced 9 songs on Mr. Combs' Love Album. So the events are fairly current, right? 3 months ago is when it ended. Mr. Jones lived with Mr. Combs for months at a time, spending holidays, birthdays, and missing major family events. That's not well written. Mr. Jones these aren't very well written, and some of the stuff in these complaints are strange. Mr. Jones resided at Mr. Combs' residence located in Los Angeles, California, New York City, and Miami, Florida. Mr. Jones also spent several weeks on a yacht rented by Mr. Combs in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones witnessed, experienced, and endured many things that went far beyond his role as a producer on the Love album. The claims raised in this complaint have been corroborated through witness statements, video, audio recordings, and images that Mr. Jones has in his possession. Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to record him constantly. On several occasions, Mr. Combs took Mr. Jones' cell phone and began recording himself. As a result, Mr. Jones has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Mr. Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. Mr. Jones has secured irrefutable evidence of A, the acquisition, use, and distribution of ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms. B, the displaying and distribution of unregistered illegal firearms. C, Mr. Combs providing laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers at his homes in California, New York, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Florida. D, Mr. Combs' chief of staff, Christina Coram, KK, instructing her staff to retrieve drugs so she can provide it to Mr. Combs for his consumption. E, Christian Combs drugging and sexually assaulting a woman. F, Mr. Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T.D. Jakes, right? He's the black or African-American preacher, to soften the impact of his public image of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, who I mentioned earlier, Cassandra Ventura lawsuit back in November 2023. G, Young Miami's cousin and or assistant sexually assaulting Mr. Jones. H, actor Cuba Gooding Jr. sexually harassing and assaulting Mr. Jones. Rapper redacted on Mr. Combs' yacht, consorting with underage girls, sex workers, and this is all in the footnotes. R&B singer 3 redacted in Mr. Combs' Los Angeles home, consorting with underage girls and sex workers. And then he goes on to explain who are these rappers and R&B singers, and it is a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. I guess somebody knows who that is. And then 4, he is a Grammy Award-winning R&B singer who had trouble with law enforcement after assaulting a Bajan billionaire. I don't even know what that is. Bajan billionaire. Maybe somebody knows what that is. Chalice recording studio shooting. On or about September 12th, 2022, Mr. Combs held a writers and producers camp at Chalice Recording Studio at 845 Highland Avenue in Los Angeles, California. Present at this camp were Mr. Combs, his son Justin Combs, and Justin's friend named G. Mr. G is a 30-year-old tall African-American male. In addition to these individuals, other musicians were present at the camp. This writer has spoken to several musicians who attended the camp. One evening during this camp, Mr. Combs, J. Combs, and G were in a heated conversation. That conversation was moved out of the studio and into a restroom adjacent to where Mr. Jones was sitting. Mr. Jones was approximately 2 feet away from the bathroom when gunshots rang out. Mr. Jones recalled hearing multiple gunshots. So he's in something in 2022 and hearing multiple gunshots. Mr. Jones immediately went into a state of shock and feared that he would be shot next. Mr. Jones genuinely believed that he would be shot through the door due to how close he was. After the shooting ended, a crowd gathered around the restroom. When the door finally opened, Mr. Combs and J. Combs exited. G was lying on the restroom floor in a fetal position, holding his stomach and bleeding out of his leg-hip area. Everyone stood around looking upon G. Frustrated by the lack of aid to G, Mr. Jones dropped everything, ran to G, and immediately began placing pressure on G's gunshot wound to his stomach. As he was applying pressure on his stomach, Mr. Jones realized that G was gushing blood from another area near his leg hip. He decided to lift G and place him to sit on the toilet. Mr. Jones asked the crowd to call the ambulance. Mr. Jones lifted G and brought him to the ambulance at the studio's front. At this time, Mr. Combs and Justin had disappeared to another part of the studio. Mr. Combs gave strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with the shooting. He also forced Mr. Jones to lie to the police by telling them that G was shot standing outside the studio by a drive-by assailant. And then here's all the reports. Man shot outside a party at Hollywood Recording Studio. This is from CBS News. Mr. Jones has several corroborating witnesses who spoke with this writer anonymously due to fear of retaliation by Mr. Combs. They have agreed to speak publicly when subpoenaed. Mr. Jones has the clothing he wore that day and believes it may still have stains and DNA of G's blood. The following are screenshots of the aftermath of the restroom where G was shot by either Mr. Combs or J. Combs. Clearly, G was not shot outside of the studios. Mr. Combs instructed his team to report to law enforcement. Mr. Combs and defendants LR, MR, UMG, CRS provided private security for the writers' camp at defendant CRS. The security was porous and lackluster at best. The fact that either Mr. Combs and Jay Combs were allowed to enter CRS with guns, and those guns were not confiscated by security, is a clear breach of duty by Mr. Combs, defendants LR, MR, UMG, to protect Mr. Jones and other attendees of this writers' camp. As a result of this shooting, Mr. Jones is severely traumatized. Now Mr. Jones now suffers from PTSD, severe anxiety, depression, and insomnia. So next, Mr. Jones was sexually harassed and assaulted by Mr. Combs. Throughout his time living with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs. These events took place in LA, New York, Florida, and the United States Virgin Islands. In addition to the unsolicited and unauthorized touching, Mr. Jones was forced by Mr. Combs to work in Mr. Combs' bathroom as Mr. Combs walked around naked and showered in a clear glass enclosure. As a heterosexual Christian man, Mr. Jones was uncomfortable with Mr. Combs' advances and expressed his discomfort to Mr. Combs' Chief of Staff, Christina Coram. KK responded to Mr. Jones' complaint with, Sean will be Sean. KK also attempted to downplay Mr. Combs' groping of Mr. Jones' anus and genitals as friendly horseplay, stating those acts were Mr. Combs' way of showing he liked you. Despite these assurances, on several occasions when Mr. Combs began to undress and walk around his house naked, KK would say, "Okay, I'm leaving now," and she would disappear. KK's hypocrisy is breathtaking at best or enabling at worst. Mr. Jones believes that KK aided and abetted Mr. Combs' sexual assault of him and was working with Mr. Combs to groom him into accepting a homosexual relationship. Through these sexually deviant acts, one would say Mr. Combs has a pattern and practice of engaging in such nefarious activity. This ongoing conduct shows that Mr. Combs cannot be rehabilitated. Mr. Combs attempted to groom Mr. Jones into engaging in gay sex. Mr. Combs was aware that Mr. Jones looked up to and idolized music producer Stephen Aaron Jordan, or Stevie J. Stevie J is an American DJ, record producer, and television personality. Stevie J was part of the Bad Boy Records production team, The Hitmen. In 1997, Stevie J won a Grammy Award for his work on Puff Daddy's debut album. Throughout the 1990s, Stevie J produced for several artists, including Mariah Carey, Tevin Campbell, The Notorious B.I.G., 112, Jodeci, Faith Evans, Jay-Z, and Eve. Stevie J was one of the producers on the Love album. Mr. Combs used access to Stevie J and his knowledge of Mr. Jones' admiration of Stevie J to groom and entice Mr. Jones to engage in homosexuality. Mr. Combs went so far as to share a video of Stevie J anally penetrating a Caucasian male without a condom. This was done to ease Mr. Jones' anxiety concerning homosexuality. According to Mr. Combs, this is a normal practice in the music industry. Look, even Stevie J is doing it. Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had engaged in sexual intercourse with rapper Redacted, R&B singer Redacted, and Stevie J. Mr. Combs promised to make sure that Mr. Jones wins Producer of the Year at the Grammys if he engaged in homosexuality. This has always been kind of the rumor, right? Like the rumor is that you have to do this, and there's other stories. I can't remember some of these other rappers, but they aren't homosexual, but they become homosexual for fame and fortune or whatever. The following are screenshots of the video of Stevie J anally penetrating a Caucasian male that Mr. Combs provided to Mr. Jones. It's pretty graphic. Those are redacted. Thanksgiving 2022, Mr. Jones is sexually assaulted by Young Miami's cousin. On Thanksgiving Day 2022, Mr. Jones was in Mr. Combs' house located in Miami, Florida. Young Miami and her female cousins were also present. Mr. Combs was intoxicated and offered cocaine to Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones rejected him and proceeded to walk to the restroom. While using the restroom, Young Miami's cousin burst into the bathroom and began groping Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs sent her in there to sexually assault Mr. Jones. As she entered the bathroom, she dropped to her knees and began performing oral sex on Mr. Jones pushed her away and exited the bathroom. Young Miami's cousin did not accept Mr. Jones' rejection as she proceeded to follow Mr. Jones out of the bathroom. She started undressing and attempted to straddle him and have sex with him in the presence of Mr. Jones and his staff. Combs and his staff. Again, Mr. Jones pushed her off. The following images of a video of young Miami, her cousin, Mr. Jones, etc. Trafficking and Victims Protection Act. Throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was transported from California to New York, Florida, and the United States Virgin Islands. During this time, Mr. Jones was forced to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts to the pleasure of Mr. Combs. On or about February 4th, 2023, Mr. Combs forced Mr. Jones to bring prostitutes and sex workers back to his home in Miami, Florida. The sex workers that Mr. Combs forced Mr. Jones to bring back to his home. On about February 2nd, 2023 incident, that doesn't right. Mr. Jones believes Mr. Combs drugged him. Mr. Jones recalls waking up naked, dizzy, and confused. He was in bed with two sex workers and Mr. Combs. He also recalls aimlessly wandering around the house with no clothes on. On another occasion in Miami, Florida, on Thanksgiving night of 2022, Mr. Combs asked Mr. Jones and DeForest Taylor to enter the studio bathroom. He asked them for a $100 bill because he wanted them to do cocaine with him. Mr. Jones was scared, but luckily he didn't have a $100 bill, so Mr. Combs waited a little later to do coke with young Miami. Later that evening, he required Mr. Jones to solicit sex workers from Booby Trap on the river located in Miami, Florida. Mr. Jones did so, and Mr. Combs forced him to engage in unsolicited sex acts with these workers. As part of Mr. Jones' sex worker recruitment tools, Mr. Combs provided Mr. Jones with an exclusive bad boy baseball cap and required him to wear it to Booby Trap on the river as a signal to any sex worker he approached that Mr. Combs was in town and had sent Mr. Jones to recruit them. So that was like the signal, is like this bad boy baseball cap. It was assigned to all of them. Mr. Jones had no desire to visit Booby Trap on the river. Mr. Jones had no desire to solicit sex workers from Booby Trap on the river. Mr. Combs used his power and influence to intimidate and force Mr. Jones into soliciting sex workers from Booby Trap on the river. As detailed below, Mr. Combs used many tactics to maintain dominion and control of Mr. Jones. Apparently, these workers were accustomed to servicing Mr. Combs and would know that he is in town by the sight of the bad boy's baseball cap. The following are Instagram profiles of two of the sex workers that Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to solicit and have sex with him in his home in Miami, Florida. Mr. Jones had no desire to solicit or have sex with the individuals in the previous paragraph. Mr. Combs used his power and influence to intimidate and force Mr. Jones into soliciting and sleeping with these women. The following is the phone number of another sex worker that Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to solicit and perform sex acts with his home in Miami, Florida. Mr. Jones had no desire to solicit or have sex with the individual in the previous paragraphs. Mr. Combs used his power and influence to intimidate and force Mr. Jones into soliciting and sleeping with the individuals above. Mr. Combs used many tactics to maintain dominion and control of Mr. Jones. He promised him a Grammy for Producer of the Year for the Love album. He offered him $250,000 to purchase all the instruments he wanted. He promised him ownership of his $20 million property, One Star Island in Miami, Florida. He promised access to record label executives like defendants Lucian Charles Grange and Ethiopia Habitamariam. Mr. Combs would often switch up this approach. He would go from promising Mr. Jones the world to threatening Mr. Jones with physical harm. Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones' face and informs Mr. Jones that he's willing to kill his mother, Janice Combs, if he must in order to get what he wants, so he wouldn't think twice to harm Mr. Jones. Mr. Combs solicits drugs and engages in illicit sex with acts with minors and sex workers. On or about July 2nd, 2023 in California, Mr. Combs had a listening party at his home. Present at this party was R&B artist Redacted, J. Combs, sex workers, and some underage girls. The event began at 7 p.m. Mr. Combs requested female sex workers and required Mr. Jones to solicit them. An hour later, several sex workers appeared. In addition to sex workers, there were at least 5 women in the crowd that were under the age of 16. Mr. Combs forced all the women to drink laced De Leon liquor. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs laced the liquor with ecstasy. Mr. Combs did not check the identification of any of these underage girls. The presence of these underage women made Mr. Jones very uncomfortable. He attempted to leave, and Mr. Combs forced him to stay. Mr. Combs went so far as to take Mr. Jones's car keys to prevent him from leaving. After being forced to drink De Leon shots, Mr. Jones began feeling lightheaded and recalls passing out and waking up at 4 a.m. the following morning, naked, with a sex worker sleeping next to him. Screenshots of a video from that night are embedded below. There's like screenshots. Mr. Combs attempts to pass Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends. This fear became reality when Mr. Combs introduced Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. while they were on Mr. Combs' yacht. During the introduction, Mr. Combs suggested that Cuba get to know Mr. Jones better. He then left them alone in a makeshift studio on the yacht. As evidenced by a video of which screenshots are embedded below, Cuba Gooding Jr. began touching, groping, and fondling Mr. Jones's legs, his upper inner thighs near his groin, the small of his back near his buttocks and shoulders. Mr. Jones was extremely uncomfortable and proceeded to lean away from Mr. Gooding Jr. He rejected his advances, and Mr. Gooding Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcibly pushed him away. The following is a screenshot of the encounter with Cuba Gooding Jr. The Love Album. Throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was under an implied work-for-hire agreement. He was not compensated for his time living with Mr. Combs or for the songs he produced. As evidence, he was listed as a producer for the following songs on the Love album's final release: Deliver Me, Stay, PT1, Reaching, What's Love, Stay a While, Moments, Need Somebody, Homecoming, Tough Love. Mr. Combs and defendants LR, MR, UMG all benefited from Mr. Jones' work product. They failed to compensate Mr. Jones for his work. As a result, Mr. Combs and defendants LR, MR, UMG were all unjustly enriched at the expense of Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones attempted to work with Mr. Combs to secure his publishing and royalty rights for the work he completed on the Love album. Mr. Combs only offered Mr. Jones $29,000 for 13 months, thousands of hours of work, and 9 songs that made it to the Love album. Ironically, Mr. Jones was willing to take $50,000, his publishing and royalties. Mr. Combs' self-serving greed would not allow him to pay Mr. Jones an additional $21,000. Mr. Combs' deceptive business practices became so bad that Mr. Jones was left with no choice other than to make a public plea on social media for Mr. Combs to pay him for his work. After publicly requesting that Mr. Combs do the right thing and pay him fairly, Mr. Jones received an onslaught of threatening message from Stevie J and Love Records A&R, DeForest Taylor. Mr. Combs used his power and influence to threaten and intimidate Mr. Jones. According to Mr. Jones, Mr. Combs is very forceful and demanding. Mr. Combs does not take no for an answer and would often threaten to inflict bodily harm on Mr. Jones if Mr. Jones did not comply with his demands. As detailed above, Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones's face. While on another occasion while standing in Mr. Combs' bedroom, Mr. Jones was forced to watch as Mr. Combs displayed his guns and bragged about getting away with shooting people. Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the shooting in the nightclub in New York City with rapper Shine. I don't know, is that 2022? There's something here. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, a.k.a. J-Lo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. There's a picture of them together. The shooting in Chalice Records Studios confirmed Mr. Combs' statements. These statements reinforced Mr. Jones' fear of Mr. Combs and strengthened Mr. Combs' dominion and control of Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones was terrified of Mr. Combs. He felt like he could not tell him no. Mr. Combs consistently made it clear that he has immense power in the music industry and with law enforcement. Mr. Combs made it clear that his head of security, Fahim Mohammed, had the power to make people and problems disappear. Mr. Combs instructs his staff to always contact Mr. Mohammed if they are ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. Upon information and belief, Mr. Mohammed spoke with the LAPD after G was shot at CRS. The LAPD was in CRS and witnessed the blood in the restroom, and they went with the bogus claim of the shooting G occurred outside the studio. This was all thanks to Mr. Mohammed's connections within law enforcement. Mr. Jones had no reason to disbelieve Mr. Combs that he had seen firsthand through the shooting of G and the subsequent silence of the LAPD and the media that Mr. Combs indeed had the power to harm him. The LAPD spent hours in CRS after the shooting of G, but there were no arrests. Mr. Jones witnessed the LAPD in the restroom pictured above, but there were no arrests were made. The morning after the shooting, Mr. Jones and several others arrived at CRS, and G's blood was still on the floor, and Mr. Combs hired a cleaning crew to clean it up. Defendants Ethiopia, Habitarium, Lucian Charles Grange, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group aided and abetted and profited off Mr. Sean Combs' RICO enterprise, racketeering, influence, corrupt organization enterprise. Mr. Jones recalls to seeing Defendant Grange visiting Mr. Combs' home in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California. According to Mr. Jones, whenever Grange visited Combs at his homes, it would be in the evening, and he and Mr. Combs would disappear for hours in Mr. Combs' bedroom. Defendant Grange sponsored and attended several Love album listening parties at Mr. Combs' home in Los Angeles, California. These parties were sponsored by defendants MR, LR, and UMG. As evidence above, these parties had sex workers and underage girls present. During these parties, Defendant Grange knew or should have known that Mr. Combs was drugging the attendees through laced bottles of De Leon tequila and Ciroc vodka. It is no secret that Mr. Combs had specific bottles of alcohol designated for females and other bottles designated for staff, his artist, and himself. This fact was detailed by former artists and bodyguards of Mr. Combs. As a sponsor of these events, Defendant Grange had a duty and obligation to ensure that sex workers and underage girls were not present and that Mr. Combs was not spiking the alcohol with date rape drugs. On YouTube channel The Art of Dialogue, former bodyguard Gene Deal exposed Mr. Combs' pill mixing method used to spike cranberry juice and orange juice. According to Mr. Deal, Mr. Combs would place ecstasy and other date rape drugs in the juices. On YouTube, The Art of Dialogue, former artist Mark Curry exposed Mr. Combs spiking bottles of Moet champagne in the VIP section of nightclubs. Mr. Combs would have a set of Moet champagne bottles for his artists and then a set for women. Wow, this is crazy. This writer has spoken with several former employees of Mr. Combs who witnessed Defendant Karam instruct her staff to lace champagne, De Leon, Ciroc bottles with ecstasy and other illicit drugs. Mr. Jones recalls seeing Defendant Habitarium visiting Mr. Combs in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California. According to Mr. Jones, whenever Defendant Habitarium visited Mr. Combs at his homes, it would be in the evening, and she and Mr. Combs would disappear for hours in Mr. Combs' bedroom. According to Mr. Jones, Defendant Habitarium visited Mr. Combs at Defendant CRS during Combs' writing camp. Just like crazy. Defendant Christina Coram, skipping forward. Defendant Christina Coram is the Ghislaine Maxwell to Sean Combs' Jeffrey Epstein. According to Mr. Jones, in the 13 months he lived, there's all kinds of pictures and stuff like that for people who are listening to this on audio. According to Mr. Jones, during the 13 months he lived and traveled with Mr. Combs, he witnessed Mr. Combs display and distribute guns from his bedroom closet in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, to questionable individuals dressed all in black. According to Mr. Jones, during the 13 months he lived and traveled with Mr. Combs, he witnessed Defendant Karam openly order her assistants to keep Mr. Combs high off gummies and pills. Defendant Karam required all employees from the butler, the chef, to the housekeepers to walk around with a pouch or fanny pack filled with cocaine, GHB, ecstasy, marijuana, gummies, and Tucci, a pink drug that is a combination of ecstasy and cocaine. I've never heard of that. It was important to Defendant Karam to have Mr. Combs' drug of choice immediately ready when he asked for it. Defendant Karam ordered sex workers and prostitutes for Mr. Karam. Defendant Karam ordered and distributed ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms to Mr. Combs and his celebrity guests who were present on his rented yacht and in his homes in LA, New York City, and Miami. On multiple occasions, Defendant Karam forced Mr. Jones to carry Mr. Combs' drug pouch against his will. As a chief of staff, Defendant Karam was instrumental in organizing and executing the RICO enterprise. Defendant Karam had the following individuals execute the following tasks. And there's the other people: Justin Coates, CVJ, getting sex workers, Frank Santinella. I don't even know this smiley face shirt. That's interesting. I don't even know who Frankie Santinella is. Moy Bound. This is just a big fat mess. Tons of drugs, cash payments. Mr. Combs is allowed to wreak havoc is the next section. And then it goes into the cause of action. I mean, this is crazy. This is just like, there's all kinds of RICO. So it's a civil RICO act, which is, they used to just be for criminal, but they allow civil actions on a racketeering influence corrupt organization, which usually the damages are like treble damages. I don't know what it's like in LA, but there's a lot of facts and pictures here. Cause of action, sexual assault, sexual harassment, liability for other people, premises liability, Cuba Gooding Jr., California premise liability, inadequate or negligent security, aiding and abetting sex trafficking, NIED for sexual assault. I don't know what that is. IIED. Wow, this is really dark. Tyrone Blackburn out of New York. Prayer for relief, jury trial. Filed in Brooklyn, New York. This is crazy. Crazy case. God, keep an eye on this. I wonder whether it'll get settled or what's going to happen. I can go into, let me see if I can find this other case. Because the Cassandra Ventura case is also really interesting. I mean, it got settled, but I think the allegations are kind of similar. Like, she accused rape, Pete kick stomped on Mr. Ventura, bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding. She claims like blew up a car, sex acts with male sex workers, guns, drugs and stuff like that. Just crazy stuff, man. But there's a lot. This is a whole nother. I don't know if I can read for another 40 minutes, but there's a lot of allegations. I mean, you can read both of these complaints. They're both accessible or whatever. This was a different one. This is Wigdor LLP brought this case. Wow. Yeah, something else. Anyway, anybody have any questions? Let me go look at the comments. I couldn't do this. Bro love dressing up as the Joker for Halloween. I don't know who that is. Boulay. Irv Gotti. Somebody sent me something about another guy who I don't know. Forgot what his name was, but it was a Chicago guy who did rap, but he didn't make it. He was killed in some shootout in Miami. All right, thanks for listening. I'll keep following this story. I think there's a lot more to the story.